Rise and shine, nerds.
You're tuned in to the Back Row Morning Show, a Monday through Thursday morning show for LTN Radio and proudly a part of the Love Thy Nerd podcast network. I'm Radio Matt.
And I'm Mo. We're caffeine fueled and ready to talk your ears off. Our show covers a lot of banter-worthy goofiness inspired by current pop culture, as well as a focused topic that spans all 4 shows for the week.
This week on the show, we kick off season 10 of our show with a look back at 2022. This week, we're taking a look back at 2022, and first we're going to take a look at some of the most searched things this year that might spark some memories. So this is almost like a little quiz for you, Mo. All right?
Okay.
When we come into like
Fail at quizzes.
the news, like headlines, what's going on in the world, give me some of the things you might think are in the top 10 that were searched for this year. Do you remember anything that happened in 2022?
So there's only 2 things that I can think of, and they're not good.
Well, yeah, news typically isn't.
Or 3 things, I guess. No, 2. Anyway, Gabby Petito.
Who is that?
She was the girl she was an Instagram influencer who was murdered by her boyfriend.
Oh. Yeah, I think I remember that. Not in the top 10.
That might have been 2021, now that I think about it.
It feels like it was a long time ago.
The Josh Duggar trial.
Also not in the top. Did that happen this year too?
That may have also been... I think Josh Duggar might have been December of 2021.
Well, let's go from the bottom here. Number 10 was Roe v. Wade.
Orioles saying that they were 2022.
Were they? Okay. Wow. Roe v. Wade was number 10, the whole overturning of that, which was surprising that it happened. Johnny Depp verdict, the Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial thing. Yeah. Number 9. The Will Smith slap at the Oscars was number 8. There was a Texas school shooting that was number 7. Like, none of these are great. Monkeypox was number 6. Remember monkeypox?
Yeah.
That was going to be the new thing.
But it wasn't.
Hurricane Ian, number 5. Powerball numbers, number 4. I think that happened twice this year where we had a super high Powerball. Ukraine was number 3, so the war, Ukraine-Russia war. Queen Elizabeth passing, number 2. And then election results was number 1, which I get because this was a paranoid year for elections. Every year has been a paranoid year for elections.
I don't remember the last time that there wasn't a paranoid year.
Yeah, I feel
election year or not, I feel like it's still like...
Yeah, I feel like when Bill Clinton beat Bob Dole, that was the last time that we didn't have like massive conspiracies of... Because nobody who wanted Bob Dole. Even Republicans didn't vote for Bob Dole. Oh, humor from the 90s. Let's move on to actors.
Okay.
Who do you think the number 1 actor searched for was this year? I'll give you a hint. It was a part of the other list that we just had.
Actors?
Mm-hmm. I mentioned at least 4.
Apparently, I was not listening to you because all that I can remember... Oh, thanks, Oriole. Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp was number 1. Will Smith was number 2.
Okay, yeah.
Amber Heard was number 3. Chris Rock was number 4. So those 2 incidents take up the top 4 spots. Julia Fox, number 5. Joseph Quinn, number 6. Jada Pinkett Smith, number 7. Ezra Miller, who's the Flash in the DC universe, who's also been whacked out of his mind all of 2022, number 8. Miles Teller, number 9. Ashley Judd, number 10.
Okay.
Yeah, if you haven't followed what's been going on with Ezra Miller in 2022, that's a good Google rabbit hole to fall down. I'm surprised he still has his job as the Flash. That's all I'm saying. Let's move on to games. All right, Mo. Now, it's been a while, but can you tell me what the number 1 searched game for the year was?
No, I can't.
Wordle.
Really?
Yeah. Have you even thought about Wordle in months?
No.
But for a hot minute, it was everybody was doing.
Yeah, that's true.
To the point where number 2 is Quirtle, one of the ripoffs. Number 4 is Hurdle, like here, like noises. Number 5 is Worldle, where it was like that geography version. Nerdle is number 6. That was the math version, I believe. And Global was another geography one, I guess, at number 10. It takes up 6 of the top 10 spots. Wordle and some of its parodies.
Yeah.
But that was fun for a while. Like, I mean, it died out, but I think Bubba was the one that did it the most, the longest that I recall. Like every day he was posting. Bubba would post his Wordle thing like really early in the morning, and then everybody would just comment on his with their scores. Yeah. Every day.
So the fact that none of us play it anymore is Bubba's fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
He ruined it.
All your fault.
Oversaturated the market.
Yeah.
To the point where every time you went on Facebook, it was just Bubba's Wordle posts over and over and over for days and days. But we'll get back to other games. Number 3 was Elden Ring, which I believe won the Game of the Year this past year.
Okay.
Number 7 was God of War Ragnarok. Number 8 was Lost Ark. And number 9 was Overwatch 2. Marvel Snap did not make it on here. Mainly because I guess it came out toward the end of the year, but that's the only game I'm still playing from 2022.
I ain't playing no games.
I don't play no games. All right, let's go to movies, Mo.
I feel like 2022
you watched
was
a lot of these movies.
not a good year for me.
Maybe
I
not.
just
Maybe you haven't.
I don't remember anything that happened from last year at all.
Right. So here's an interesting thing. The number 1 movie searched for in 2022 is a movie that came out in 2021.
Okay.
So,
I mean, that makes sense.
What were we talking about at the tail end of 2021 into 2022?
I have slept a lot since then.
It's an animated movie from Disney. I think just Disney, not Disney Pixar. That you and I talked about ad nauseum. Encanto is the number 1 searched movie in 2022. Meaning that whole thing over the November to spring of 2022,
that was such a good
no other movie came after that was more popular than Encanto was, more talked about, which is crazy.
I'd have to go watch it today.
Encanto's really good. Number 2 was Thor: Love and Thunder. Did you ever watch that one?
Nope.
You're still pretty behind in the Marvel movies.
Very much so. Mm-hmm.
Top Gun Maverick. Oh, what's that for? Everybody loved it. What's that for?
And not everybody.
Did you see it?
Listen, I'm not a Tom Cruise fan.
Okay. Well, that just seems like bias.
I actually just watched it last night.
Oriel just said he hasn't ever seen Encanto. What on earth?
Oriel.
What on earth, Oriel?
I'm mostly disappointed because we spent an entire week talking about it.
Anyway, so you just saw Top Gun Maverick last night? Is that what you just said?
Just last night, and I fell asleep.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But listen, I fall asleep during most movies.
Okay, so it might not be a reflection of...
It might not be. Yeah.
The Batman, Robert Pattinson's Batman. Did you see that one?
No.
It's really good. Pretty darn good, I gotta say.
Did I see it? I don't remember if I saw it or not.
Everything Everywhere All at Once was number 5. This one I still haven't seen, but I need to, because it's like a alternate dimension type movie / comedy.
Okay.
I haven't seen that. Black Adam was number 6.
Topher and Erica loved Black Adam.
Did they?
Yeah.
I liked it too, but like the world just hates it for some reason, which makes me sad. I mean, I know the story wasn't fantastic. It was mostly action and junk, but still, sometimes you need just a brainless movie to have fun.
Okay.
Jurassic World Dominion. Jurassic World Dominion was number 7. Have you caught up with any of the Jurassic World movies?
Yes.
Have you seen that one? The last one?
I'm telling you, my 2022 was a blur.
Okay, it had like all the original cast members in it too from the first movies. Okay. So you saw that?
Yep.
It was all right. I liked it. It was a satisfying enough end to the series. It should stop. Like that should be the end of it.
Probably not.
I feel like. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever.
I didn't watch that one.
I've watched it. It's really good.
Yeah.
Like of course, Chadwick Boseman passed away before this movie. I think they did a really good job in honoring him and moving the story forward still. Like it didn't feel like it was, a thrown together backup plan kind of movie. Like it felt very intentional, and I think it was good. Morbius was the number 9th most searched movie, and this was the
number 9th? Is that
number 9th? Yeah, the number 9th most searched for movie.
I think that's right.
Okay. This was the Sony Spider-Man universe flop movie that became such a meme online that Sony interpreted that as the movie being popular, and they brought it back to theaters after its initial run, and it still stunk up the box office.
You stink up the box office.
And this might have been the movie that has killed off everything that they were planning to do with like the Sony specific Spider-Man universe movies.
Okay.
So who knows? And then number 10 was the other Disney, I think this was Pixar too, movie that you and I talked about this year for an entire week. Do you remember that one? What was the other one? We did Encanto, and then we did coming of age movie.
Oh, Turning Red.
Turning Red. That's right. Number 10.
Aha. Man, see, 2022 was a blur.
It really was.
I'm sorry.
All right. Now let's do something that's kind of 2020 specific. Let's talk about shortages, Mo.
Okay.
We had a lot of shortages this year. We think give me any of them. Give me any of them on this list, and let's see.
Toilet paper.
That didn't happen this time. We didn't have a toilet paper shortage this year.
Gas.
Diesel was the number 1 search for diesel shortage. Apparently, maybe we don't hear about it as much because we're not truckers, but apparently there was a big diesel shortage for a while. Number 2 was baby formula. You remember? Yeah, I remember that. That was the tail end of us using baby formula as that was happening. And I think still to this day, that baby formula aisle section at Walmart or anywhere else is never full. Like it's never stocked. It used to just be like overflowing with baby formula.
What is another shortage that happened?
There was a tampon shortage. I don't know about that one. There was an Adderall shortage. There was a Sriracha. I always want to pronounce that extra R. Sriracha shortage. There was a food shortage was number 6, so that's just like an overall thing, but everything else is a food item. Cream cheese shortage, apparently.
Okay.
Avocado shortage. Lettuce shortage. This one I wouldn't, put specifically in 2022 because that seems to happen every 4 years. Like there's always this big E. coli breakout.
I was gonna say.
And so we don't have any lettuce for a week. I still remember when the E. coli breakout happened with green onions.
Really?
Yeah.
And that's remember when green onion E. coli breakout.
It was like an entire year you couldn't buy green onions in America. Taco Bell used to have green onions on their Mexican pizzas.
Yeah, you're right.
They took them off there, and then they've never returned. I really liked the green onions on the Mexican pizza.
Yeah,
like it made
the Mexican pizza.
It was a flavor pop right there that you needed.
It was a flavor favorite.
It's a flavor favorite.
A flavor favorite.
No, you can't say it.
Flavor favorite. It's a flavor favorite.
Mosaic says. As a pharmacist, I still can't get amoxicillin, certain insulins, Tylenol, and ibuprofen liquid, and many other items. Yeah, like there's a lot of medication shortages as well. And then the last one on the list here is epidural shortage.
Glad I didn't have a baby.
Right?
In 2022.
All right, let's end with songs, Mo. I'll give you a hint. 3 of the songs on this list are from a movie.
3 are from the same. I don't know.
Encanto, Mo.
Are they really?
Yeah.
We don't talk about Bruno.
Number 1. We don't
Really?
talk about Bruno. Most searched for a song in 2022.
What is our favorite song?
Surface Pressure.
Yes.
Number 2, Surface
Okay.
Pressure. Then way down at number 10 is What Else Can I Do?
Which one was that one?
That was the Flower sister
Oh,
discovering.
Isabella.
Is that her?
Yeah.
I haven't seen the movie in so long. I've got them all mixed up now.
Luisa is the strong one.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. Then we got Jiggle Jiggle. It was all over TikTok for forever. It was that is the guy that's not like a rap artist or whatever who wrote a rap song and then he talked about it on a podcast early this year, very late last year. Was the My Money Don't Jiggle Jiggle, It Folds, that song. Yeah. They recorded an actual version of it with that guy. So it's Duke and Jones and Louis Theroux, which I think is the actual guy's name. But they made a real song out of it. But still, the version that's all over TikTok was the one that they auto-tuned out of his podcast. Unholy, I can't escape that song on stupid TikTok. Sam Smith and Kim Petras. Harry Styles is As It Was, number 5. Running Up That Hill by Kate Bush.
Oh, yeah,
Number
from
6,
Stranger Things.
From the 80s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was number 6 in 2022 because of Stranger Things.
It kind of blew my mind when both of my boys were like, Mom, this is an amazing song. And I'm like,
Yeah, bruh.
it's
80s
older
were good.
than me. Homie,
80s were good, man.
But okay.
80s had a lot of
Okay.
good stuff. Glimpse of Us by Joji. I'm not sure I've heard that one. Is number 7. Lizzo's About Dang Time was number 8. And then the most recent song, I believe, the most recent release, which tells you how popular it was to break into the top 10 search of the entire year, is Taylor Swift's Anti-Hero. Which the music video is really good for.
I'm not a Taylor fan.
I'm not so much a Taylor Swift fan either, but the music video for this is pretty good. I only watched it because Hector Mirai said I had to watch it on the pull list.
You do what all your friends tell you to
I
do?
do. Yeah.
Okay.
He even wasn't saying it directly to me. He was just saying it on the podcast.
fair.
He said, go watch it and then imagine that Robin is listening to it in his ears from the Titans show on HBO Max. So
Okay.
do that. I'll recommend you do that too if you watch that show.
Okay.
What do you think the number 1 sports team? I'm just going to do number 1s here. Number 1 sports team searched for this year.
I'm going to say, the Buccaneers because that's where Brady went.
Nope. Philadelphia Phillies was the number 1.
Why do I always go NFL?
I don't know.
Always go NFL. There are no other sports. It's just football.
Are the Bengals NFL?
Yes.
They were number 4, and that was the top NFL, it looks like. Followed by the Rams. And then the 49ers were number 8.
I'm still just over the Bengals. The Bengals can kick rocks.
Most
Really big ones, and I hope they break their toes. I can't stand them.
Oh gosh.
Can't.
Let's see. Adam Levine was the number 1 searched for musician,
Yeah.
but not for why you would think.
Poor Adam Levine.
He had a rough year for sure.
He did.
Number 1 tickets searched for was Disneyland tickets, so people still wanted to go there this year. Followed by Bad Bunny. Bad Bunny tickets. I only know Bad Bunny from the WWE.
Okay.
He's a decent wrestler.
Okay.
TV show number 1 was Euphoria. I've never seen that show.
Never heard
I have
of
no
it.
idea what it's about.
I don't watch TV.
Followed by Stranger Things.
Of course.
Then everything goes into Spanish. So I don't know
Hey.
what all those are. Google Maps. Number 1 search for exhibit on Google Maps was Van Gogh's The Immersive Experience in Washington, D.C.
Okay.
Okay. This is an interesting one that I didn't see. So the hum to search feature where you can hum a tune and tell me what song is this.
Yeah.
What do you think the number one song in 2022 was in the hum to search? Like they heard the tune and they need to figure out what that song was.
Baby Got Back. That's the only thing I can think of.
Now, the number one song is Everybody by the Backstreet Boys.
Everybody.
Backstreet's Back.
Yeah.
Isn't that strange? Why is that from did that happen? Was that in a movie or something this year? It must have been. Rick Astley's Never Gonna Give You Up was number 2.
Never gonna give you up.
Followed by
let you down.
We Don't Talk About Bruno from Encanto.
We don't talk about Bruno. No. See, what nobody actually knows is that I'm running that website.
All day, all you do is just sit there humming into things.
No, I listen to people humming.
Oh, you listen to them.
And I tell them what song it is that they can't get out of their head.
You're breaking our machines here.
Did I?
What
did I do?
Did you hear that? You went all computerized for a second. Are you an AI?
Maybe.
Get into their heads. I listen to all of their songs.
Nah.
Well, that is it for today. Next time, we're going to take a look back at the nerdiness of 2022. This week, we're taking a look back at 2022. Today, we are focusing on the nerdiness of 2022. The fandoms, the games, the nerdy news, all the big stuff.
All the big stuff.
All the big stuff. Let's see here. There's a lot of stuff that happened in 2022.
I don't remember.
I bet Mo doesn't remember any of it.
I don't.
So let's start with movies, comic book movies, DC Comics movies, DC EU? I think it's U now. The DC movie layout is changing. We still don't even know what that's going to look like exactly, but they hired James Gunn as the new kind of lead over the DC universe of movies. And it's been kind of a back and forth year because we didn't know what was going to be happening, and we were told one thing was happening, and then that changed. Black Adam came out recently. Mm-hmm. Spoiler alert, tail end of Black Adam. Henry Cavill returns as Superman for the first time in several years. We thought he was done and hung it up and gone. Now he's back.
If you're gonna give a spoiler, you give a spoiler alert, you need to give a little bit of time.
Well, hardly anybody doesn't know it by now because
you don't.
Because Henry Cavill quit The Witcher, which was his big TV show that he was doing as the lead character. Quit The Witcher to return as Superman in what was going to be a new set of movies, new everything. And then James Gunn kind of said, you know what, maybe not. Maybe we're going to go with a younger Superman. And so now he's not Superman anymore. And so he quit The Witcher, and now he's not Superman anymore. Now he's going on to do, I think, Warhammer or something or other. But like,
I can be your Superman.
But now he also might be coming back for. It's all very confusing, and we don't know. We're hoping James Gunn can pull it all together, but that's kind of how the news landed with 2022. DC still doesn't know exactly where they're going, but hopefully we have somebody who is going to smooth it all out. So some things are going to stay, some things are going to change. We should be actually hearing from him soon about what's going to look like for the next few years, but everything's kind of up in the air. Marvel, on the other hand, maybe didn't have the best 2022, 2020, really hasn't had the best phase. Phase 4 hasn't been the best, but they did introduce what this slate of the next 3 phases is. It's the multiverse saga, letting us know that we're going to be having leaps into all these multiverse things. Of course, we had Spider-Man No Way Home come out that kind of led us into that. And then Doctor Strange as well. I'm excited for where it's going to go. I'm excited for Secret Wars. I'm excited for what cameos we're going to see. I think it's going to be fun. But this year hasn't been the best. We did have Obi-Wan Kenobi come this last year come out. We had Ewan McGregor reprising his role as Obi-Wan from the prequel movies. Hayden Christensen back as like the Darth Vader character, which we didn't really get to see him as until now. And they did a good job of still showing off that it was him, under the mask, which I thought was going to be difficult. They had a flashback as well. It was a heavy year of nostalgia for that. Grand Theft Auto 5 has been the Grand Theft Auto game since the PlayStation 3. Like, it has lasted well over a decade as the main game in that franchise. But apparently we had some leaks for the next installment, GTA 6, coming out soon. And it's going to look like it'll have the first female protagonist in the Grand Theft Auto series. They always seem to hype up female leads and things that are like bad. Because you're a criminal. Like, well, we need representation here. Let's get the first woman killer and stealer. And I'm like, okay. You do you, equality.
Why not?
Like, I was watching the Minions movie, the first one, with Sandra Bullock, I think, was the voice of the main villain. And it was like, they made it a big deal of like, she's the first like woman supervillain over everything. I'm like, is that a first that we were seeking? We really needed the big first supervillain woman in the Despicable Me franchise.
I mean, since the beginning of time. Eve
was our first female supervillain.
That's exactly right.
Oh, man. Google Stadia got discontinued this year. Wordle conquered the world this year.
I mean, did it conquer the world?
It did. Wordle
because we dropped it quick.
Not quick. It lasted a solid 2-3 months.
That is quick.
Yeah, but I mean, for 2 or 3 months, it conquered the world. Filling Twitter with green, yellow, and white boxes to puzzle those that don't play the game. For months, people went to Wordle for their daily word conundrum and try to figure out the word of the day with as few guesses as possible. Some are still trying to get that elusive all green on the first guess. I got it one time. One time first guess happened to be the word. It was crazy.
You know, for all the Wordles that I played, I am not any smarter.
I don't think it was supposed to make you smarter. It was just supposed to see how
it was
how well
supposed
you
to
could
expand
guess.
my vocabulary at the very least.
I guess maybe, yeah.
And I think my vocabulary is smaller this year than it was last year, sadly.
The game was so popular it was bought by the New York Times, and some argue that was the beginning of its decline. I would agree. But yeah, it is now a mere blip in our history, but I think it was fun at the time. I swear some of those words were made up. Gabigan says, proud to say never played Wordle. Played a lot of Words with Friends, though. I played that, yeah. Online Scrabble, essentially.
Yeah, no. I know what it is. I've never played it.
All these games are supposed to keep you from Alzheimer's. I mean, I think they said that about, like, Brain Age for the DS and there's a whole bunch of apps.
Is that how you say it?
Brain Age? Yeah, because they capitalized the A. The B and the A.
Okay.
And it calculated how old your brain was at the end of every game.
Okay. I always thought
Have you been saying brainage?
Yeah. I mean,
I get it. Yeah, I get it. But like, I think they just came out with a study that showed that all those games don't do anything. All they do is they make you better at that game, but they don't help your brain anywhere else. So
that tiny portion inside of your brain that is reserved for that game.
So when you're old and you got Alzheimer's, you could still play Brain Age and Wordle really well.
But that's it.
But that's all you got.
Yeah. Fair.
There are lots of shakeups in the gaming industry this year. 2 of the biggest acquisitions came from Microsoft and Sony, the 2 companies responsible for 2 of the most famous consoles amongst gamers. Sony bought Bungie, the company responsible for the Destiny franchise, for $3.6 billion, while Microsoft is on track to buy Activision Blizzard, the company responsible for Call of Duty and Warcraft, for $68.7 million, I think. I don't think that's billion. That can't be billion. Doesn't say, but I think it's million. We also had a new handheld come out this year. That was the Steam Deck. the first handheld that's not officially tied to a console. It's like, it's a PC, like it's PC tech that you can take now on the go. Kind of been mixed reviews on how good it is and how, what it needs to improve on, but it's getting a Switch style handheld for all your favorite PC games on the go. That's pretty cool. That's a pretty cool first leap. So that's exciting. Let's see. Netflix got into gaming this year. Netflix Games 2022. G4 says goodbye again. So G4 was did you ever watch that in the early 2000s at all? I know you weren't super nerdy back then either, but it was the gaming channel on cable.
Oh.
And it had things like Attack of the Show, X-Play, like these were all very popular. There were a couple very popular shows amongst a lot of garbage. Kind of like MTV or VH1 operates. They have a couple really popular things that everybody watches, and then the rest is
VH1, yes. MTV, no.
22 hours of garbage and 2 hours of really popular stuff.
You're wrong.
It got canceled a while back. They brought it back in 2021, resurrected some of the shows with fresh faces and a few familiar ones that returned. They made it not even a whole year before they had to shut down again, which was sad. Mm-hmm. Sad. Ubisoft announces some more Assassin's Creed projects. PS Plus had a tier revamp. Like, there's a lot of like little things that happened and a few big things. But I think the biggest stuff that's been monopolizing nerds' attention are how kind of disappointed we've been with both Marvel and DC movies these last couple of years. And 2022 didn't see anything different. Movies and TV shows, like on Disney Plus. I tend to be more forgiving of things that a lot of people hate. Like, a lot of people didn't like She-Hulk whatsoever. I'm fine with it. I enjoyed it. I laughed a lot. I'll watch it again. But aside from a little more disappointed with DC. Yeah, DC was kind of a bummer this year. But we'll see. I mean, there's a lot of you gotta realize that they're not all. My favorite line, let's say this. My favorite line from an SNL skit that featured Tom Hanks is David Pumpkins. It was 100 floors of frights. There's a Halloween thing. You're going up in this. Every door opens and there's a new thing in front that's supposed to scare you. And there's a couple that are just dumb. Mm-hmm. And eventually the Kenan Thompson, who's operating the ride, says, "Look, it's 100 floors of frights. They aren't all going to be winners." You got to take the bad with the good sometimes. Sometimes it takes getting some of the crappier projects out of the way as a part of world building to get to the better stuff. Just, we got to not be so toxic when things aren't perfect. We're always going to have our ideas of how we should have written this, how this should have been done. And instead, we tend to, as nerds, jump onto bandwagons really easy. Well, this is garbage and this is ruining everything. Or is this fandoms not be toxic? That can happen. I mean, yeah, we gotta stop ruining the fun for ourselves. You know what I mean?
Can I just add something here?
Yeah.
You said that you tend to be a little bit more forgiving of things that people hate, and I'm just gonna say that pays off well for me. I
have to forgive most so often.
It's a fact. And most people just choose to hate me.
Yeah.
You hate me because you ain't me.
Mosaic Fan Arc says, well, it might not be perfect for us, but it might be for others. That's true. Not everything is going to be universally loved, and that's okay.
No! I want to be loved by everybody.
Some of my favorite comments in the Love Thy Nerd community are on posts where people are like, look, I really like this, this, that, or the other that most people are panning. And a comment will be like, I might not agree, but I am actually glad that, this was something that you enjoyed. That's a good mindset to have, as opposed to, I disagree and here's why you're stupid. And this movie was stupid and you're stupid for liking this stupid movie. Mm-hmm. Because that tends to be our mindset. And I'm glad that we aren't all that way.
I just had a that I gotta share with you.
Okay.
Because it's totally Love Thy Nerd, specific.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Matt, I get my first 2023 pat on the back and I'm gonna give it to myself. Listen, okay? I told you that I was playing Phase 10. Okay?
Okay.
And with these people that I don't even know, okay? And it gets very late and I finally say, listen, I gotta go home.
Oh, this group that you were talking about yesterday.
I gotta go home. Because I gotta go to bed. Because I gotta get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to go record a podcast. And they're like, you record a podcast? And I'm like, yeah.
I don't even have time to convince you.
Yeah. But they're like, the one says, what's it about? And I was like, do you really want to know? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay, well, it's a Christian podcast. And he goes, oh, yep, I don't want to know. I was like, okay, that's fine. And then he goes on to talk about his beliefs. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, that's totally fine. That's your opinion. You have a right to feel that way. And he goes, really? And I was like, yeah, I mean, me arguing with you isn't going to change your mind, right? And he's like, can I just say that I respect you so much right now? You're the first Christian that I've ever heard that's been like, okay, that's fine. That's your opinion. And hasn't jumped down my throat because of how I believe. And I was like, I mean, I'm just here to play a game. I get my first 2023 Love Thy Nerd pat on the back.
I agree.
I'm proud of myself.
Yeah. Build a space. That might actually, in the future, open him up to actually having a conversation about it in the future.
Listen, he doesn't hate me. So
right.
And the majority of the world doesn't like me so much. So. I'm just kidding.
Well, there's so much not to like. No, I'm kidding. That's all for today. Tomorrow we're going to be wearing our stretchy pants as we examine food trends of 2022. This week we're taking a look back at 2022. Today it's all about the food, specifically how we ordered our food.
What?
This year. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So this is actually food findings from Uber Eats this year.
Okay.
So it's giving us our trends. It's the cravings report.
Okay.
Okay. So along with Uber Eats, other Uber-owned companies such as Drizzly and Postmates have completed orders of all kinds this year. So here are a few fascinating food findings from this year's report. In almost all 50 states, the most frequent special instruction on food orders was no onion.
I knew it.
Is that what you're going to say?
I knew it. Yep.
I can't believe I'm not in that boat anymore, but I love onions.
Onions.
And pickles too. A lot of people order no pickles on their stuff.
Hey, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
You like grilled cheese sandwiches?
I love.
You put pickles on your grilled cheese sandwich?
I have before. It's not my, I'm not going to do that all the time kind of thing, but it's an okay change it up every now and then.
What about apple slices?
I've never done that. I've heard about it.
Yeah, okay. All right.
Tomato? Yeah, thank you. It's garbage.
Yeah.
Too many people do that and it's gross.
I feel like it makes it way too soggy. Mm-hmm. And you would think that would be the case with pickles, but it's not.
Nah. Bubba says onions are the devil's garnish.
Well,
I love onions, dude. I hated them for so long. Now I love them. I don't like them when they're too... I prefer red onions because they tend to stay crispy on the burger and whatnot. Mm-hmm. I don't like the soggy, wet, white onions. Those get gross. Like the ones that just kind of, when you bite, it just brings the whole onion out with you. You know what I mean? I'm like, I want to be able to bite through the onion. You right there? Okay.
It's just one of those. That was my nickname in high school jokes.
Soggy wet onion. Peanut butter and pickles. I've never had that.
Yeah,
I've heard
me either.
people have that before, but I've never had it. Also never had peanut butter in a burger. We have a local restaurant called Taco Box that has a peanut butter burger. I should try it.
Peanut butter burger. I don't think, no.
The common aversion to onions was accompanied by other frequent requests such as no tomato and extra sauce. Extra sauce.
Sauce. Hey, when Mila was little, that's how she used to say sauce. Sauce.
Sauce.
The sauce. Can I have the sauce?
Can I get some sauce?
Oh,
You like it,
cute
juice?
back there.
Most polite states. These are the states that said please or thank you in their special instructions.
Tennessee.
Not among them.
North Carolina.
Not among them.
Throw your hands up. Georgia?
Not among them.
What?
Montana,
What?
Oregon,
Huh?
Washington,
Wow.
South Dakota, and Idaho.
I'd a pimp.
If y'all could see my face, those listening on the radio. Mo has disappeared. Where'd Mo go? All right, you stay down there. The top 4 states that did not request a hold on onions, sorry, this is continuing with the onions, did not request a hold that liked onions were Michigan, Wisconsin, Utah, and North Dakota. In those states, foodies most frequently requested that their orders were extra spicy. First and last time on the LTN tip stream. Yep. We just made it here, and now we're going to be banished again back to obscurity.
Never. They knew what they were getting into.
Amid 2022's sober conscious movement, Uber Eats saw a massive spike in requests for non-alcoholic beverages. Now, I'm not talking about soda. I'm talking about zero-proof beers, wines, and spirits, as in mock alcoholic beverages. They saw an increase of 300% in orders.
Interesting.
As someone who doesn't really like alcoholic beverages, what's the appeal of a non-alcoholic beverage?
You asking the
Don't
wrong
they
one.
taste like garbage for no reason?
I mean, I wouldn't say that they taste like garbage.
I would.
They're still good. But,
Are they?
I mean,
The face. But what's the point?
if I'm gonna have a
What's the point of them?
margarita, I'm gonna have a margarita.
Well, I could see a margarita being non-alcoholic and being good because that's going to be fruit-forward kind of flavors, especially if you get one of those weird.
That's what all cocktails are.
It's
all
not just cocktails.
mocktails.
I said zero-proof beers, wines, and spirits.
Oh, my
I'm
bad.
saying mock
My bad.
alcoholic
My bad.
beverages.
My bad.
I'm talking Shirley Temples here. I had to have an argument with somebody about whether Shirley Temples ever had alcohol in them. I'm like, no, that's why they're called Shirley Temples. She would go out with all the other actors and she wanted to have a drink like all of them, but she was a little kid. So she had a fake drink. That was just mostly cherries
And Sprite.
and Sprite. Anyway.
Yeah.
This year was also the decline of ranch dressing, though. I thought I would never see the day. I hate ranch dressing. I've wanted it to go down. I've waited for its demise.
Who hates ranch dressing?
I do. I can't ever. My son loves it. My wife loves it.
I mean, I don't love it, but
I
I feel like it's like
gag
a,
every
it's
time
a
I smell it.
staple condiment.
It is.
I prefer ranch over ketchup, hands down. Ketchup is disgusting.
I definitely don't like ketchup as much as I used to. I used to love ketchup, and now I almost prefer just like no condiment at all on things.
Yeah.
Anyway, ranch
I'm
lovers.
a mustard kind of person.
Oh, no. No. No mustard, no mayo. Thank you. Out of here. Get the heck out of here. Ranch lovers are known for their unwavering loyalty to the popular dressing, yet requests for ranch have dramatically dwindled in recent years. Pardon me. While requests for extra sides of ranch once topped the charts pre-pandemic, these special instructions now don't even crack the top 20.
Interesting.
Nobody wants them. No one does late night munchies quite like college kids, apparently, but a few schools came out on top for the most ordering done after hours. This includes Penn State University as number 1, followed by University of Iowa, Illinois, and Texas A&M. Just close to us. Late night foods. Let's see here. Skip that part. Pairings. Ooh, this is okay. Now we're into the alcohol. Okay. Pairings. Most popular pairings ordered. Okay. What's your favorite pairing, Mo? Food and a drink. What's your favorite pairing?
I don't eat when I drink.
I don't want anything soaking up any of that alcohol, guys.
Listen,
I want to
that's
fully experience
not what I'm
all of
saying.
it.
I probably should, but I don't.
I usually drink my dinner. Thank you.
Maybe that's why I don't remember anything that happened in 2022.
Need some fat. Soak up that stuff. All right. The most popular food and alcohol pairings included steak and margaritas, pizza and White Claws, which are those hard seltzers.
Who the heck drinks White Claw?
Burritos and margaritas. White Claws for white trash, essentially. I'm kidding. If you love them, then I've never even had one. How would I know? Burritos and margaritas, chicken and sangria, and wings and beer. Classic combo there. Those were the pairings of the year. Some Uber Eats orders revealed generally interesting matchups. Some of the most unexpected food combos. No, this isn't alcohol anymore. This is just food combos. People bought two things, and these were the two things. Fruit roll-ups and hot Cheetos.
Okay.
You're snacky. I get it. Pickles and whipped cream. Popcorn and pickled popcorn and pickle juice.
Pickles and whipped cream, Matt?
Mm-hmm. You want to say something?
Yes, but no.
Popcorn and pickle juice. Dark chocolate and tomato salad.
I didn't hear anything else you
Pizza
said.
and applesauce.
Pizza and applesauce?
There we go. We're
What
brought
the
you
heck?
back. Sushi and ranch. Peanut butter and pizza. And then this one was a meme for a while. Watermelon and mustard. Have you seen that? I've seen that on TikTok and things.
Watermelon mustard. Hi.
Ooh, ooh, watermelon mustard.
I'm so disappointed.
On Fridays, foodies were more likely to order spicy food and cannolis. On Saturdays, customers tended to say no to sour cream, while requests for sauce on the side spiked on Sundays. Bananas were the most popular grocery delivery on Saturdays and Sundays, with people ordering more than 3,000 bananas last month alone. And at Uber Eats, we aim to satisfy all cravings, no matter how unique, said the spokeswoman. So she said, whether it's this weird dish that I can't pronounce or pickles and whipped cream, we're focused on helping customers get anything delivered right to their door. And this is
I
real.
can't.
That's a real statement she made.
I can't.
Negroni Spagliato. Negroni Spagliato. What is that? Let's look it up real quick. That's the thing that she tried to say. Traditional Negroni is made from Campari. That doesn't help me. Okay, it's a drink. A bitter liquor, sweet vermouth, and gin. Okay, that makes more sense.
Is it sad that I'm sitting here shaking my head going, yeah, I actually do know what that is?
Heck yeah, give me one. No, thank you. That's all. That's all for today, and I think that's all Mo can handle.
It is. My brain hurts.
So next time, our back row buds are going to join us as we talk about the big names that we lost in 2022 and which ones affected us most. But this week, we are inviting the back row buds from the Love Thy Nerd Discord to join us and chat about some of the big names we lost in 2022 and which ones hit us the hardest. And might just be Oriole today. Oriole's in the chat with us. If you're listening with us as we're recording in the Twitch chat right now, you can put your thoughts in Twitch chat and we'll share those as well. Or you can jump into this voice chat in the Discord at any point. That's fine too. Oriole, how are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Hanging in there. I don't know if I forgive you for for the game yet earlier in the week,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
Still riding the high from
I
winning that
had
fantasy lineup.
just gotten to the point where I forgave you for your shenanigans before Christmas, and now just reignited.
Forgiveness, Matt. That's what we are all about.
But
It's all a bunch of shenanigans.
but how long?
Shenanigans.
How many times, Mo, must I forgive my brother?
70 times 7.
How much is that? Quick.
The point is,
One more than two.
A lot, and that's the point. Okay.
the point is, you wouldn't be able to keep record of that many times that you've forgiven someone.
This is the 491st time that I have forgiven you, and thus you are no longer covered by biblical policy.
Can you imagine having like a journal for every person that you encounter and having like, okay, how many pages does this journal have? 495. Okay, I can take out 4.
Once I fill all these up,
That's right. You're done.
you're dead to me.
I don't have to forgive you ever again.
Jesus said. All right. Well,
Some of y'all are working it. Really close to me not having to forgive you ever again. Ever again.
oh gosh. All right. So we have lost some big names in 2022, and there have been some that have hit harder than others. Of course, it's sad when we lose anybody, but quite a few of them were elderly. Like, I mean, they've had their full life, and quite a few died early, which is it's painful because there was never like an expectation. Like we had Betty White last year. Remember at the very tail end of of 2021, we're like, oh, thanks a lot, 2021.
Yeah.
But like everybody's been knowing that was coming and dreading it for years, like a decade.
I disagree. Why?
Everybody
Everybody thought she was going to live forever. I
Everybody
did.
wanted her to live forever, but yeah, it hits a little different when
It's different.
it doesn't feel like it was their time yet, stuff like that. But quite a few names this year, too many to really go over all of them. But Oriel, did you have any that particularly stuck out to you this year?
Jason David Frank,
Gosh, yeah, that was
the
hardest
original
one for me.
Green Ranger. That one just shocked me.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, when I heard it, I was like, there's no way that's true. It's one of those death hoax things.
Right.
Then it kept coming out. It's like, wow. I mean, that was my childhood. I mean, I remember because it would air before I would go to school, so I would get to watch it in the mornings.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, it was every day. That's when Power Rangers was Monday through Friday.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
you had 5 episodes in a week, and seeing that first arc with him as the evil Green Ranger.
Yeah,
that was
it was 5 episodes, man. Like that was
Yeah.
a whole week arc. That was the first
Yeah.
full arc that they ever did.
And I just remember that's like, oh, that's such a cool character. And then he's always been a part of Power Rangers, and so
Mhm. Yeah, he came back
It
like
just-
much later as like
Yeah.
a mentor for the new team, and then became his own Power Ranger. Then,
exactly,
like the 5th version of the Power Rangers, he was. Yeah,
yeah.
that's
And
definitely.
he
Oh, sorry. go
cameos
ahead.
every sometimes, so
Mhm.
he was involved for very recently.
Yeah, even doing the Power Rangers inspired, I think, Legend of the White Dragon or something that's going to be coming
Yep.
out here in
Yeah,
a few months, I think. That one is probably the one that has hit me the hardest, mainly because it's probably one of the more tragic stories, at least in nerd culture, because he's a believer. He's had
Yep.
this big push with his like tied to his MMA run, but the whole thing was Jesus didn't tap. Jesus didn't tap
Right.
out kind of thing. And that mindset is completely opposite of what you would expect him. I mean, what you would
Exactly.
expect in this situation. So to have a person like this with such a huge fan base and kind of no warning
Right.
commit suicide is extremely heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It is.
And it proves the same thing that we hear all the time whenever something like this happens, is that you can't see it. You can't always see it in people that are struggling with mental health and stuff like that. And it makes it all the more apparent that we do need to check on everybody in our lives, especially the people that seem to be great,
Right.
seem to be doing great, seem to have the always a positive attitude and stuff like that. You do need to offer yourself up to those people in your life that you think are strong as a sounding board, or someone that they can come to and genuinely express themselves if they ever need it. And hopefully they'll take you up on that. Of course, that's something that comes down to that individual person. You can't change anybody, can't make anybody better, but you can at least let them know that you're there for them if they make the right choice and come to you in those dark moments.
Right.
But it sucks. It sucks to apparently see that he didn't have that set up. And yeah, that's rough. One of my favorite things about my childhood was that I was like the first in my friend group. I've told this story on the show 100 times too, but first in my friend group to know that Tommy was also going to be the White Ranger. Because my dad ran radio stations, and we got these promotional VHS tapes that hadn't released to the public yet of all 5 of those episodes from the Green Ranger arc. And so we were supposed to be giving those away like the next month, and my dad like snagged a set of them for me. So I took them home and I was going to watch them. And the first thing on there is like a preview for a kids martial arts exercise tape that was going to be coming out, hosted by Jason David Frank. And it started off by saying, "You know Tommy as the Green Ranger. You also know Tommy as the White Ranger." And it showed like a bunch of these clips that I'd never seen before of the White Ranger. I'm like, what the heck is going on? Oh my gosh. I'm freaking out, flopping all over. I call my best friend Nathan. I'm like, "Nathan, I know who the White Ranger is." Because it was like that end of the season, cliffhanger. Yeah. Like, it was the biggest deal. Like, we're not losing Tommy. We're not losing him. Oh gosh. We were so happy. That was like a big crisis as a kid, man. Yes. Because he was the coolest, and we thought he was done. Yeah. We thought he had lost his power. He was gone. And now we have this new kid who's supposed to show up and be better. Like, how are we ever going to love this new White Ranger when we lost Tommy? Right. It was so cool. Who else you got on your list, Oriole?
Kevin Conroy, voice of Batman.
I went and like looked up the Wikipedia to see how many things he's done the voice of Batman in, and I did not realize how all-encompassing Kevin Conroy's voice was. Batman. Like, all the big Batman video games, so many animated movies, so many opportunities to play Batman. It's crazy.
He also played Bruce Wayne in one of the Arrowverse crossovers.
Yeah.
It was one of the last ones that they had.
That's right. I watched that.
He played a version of Bruce Wayne.
I think that was the Crisis on. Really cool. I think that was the Crisis on Infinite Earths ones that they finally did.
I think so.
And he wasn't necessarily a good Bruce Wayne.
No,
because he was a bad Bruce Wayne.
Exactly. Still,
that was really cool to see, and I bet that was a big honor for him too, to actually get to be in person Bruce Wayne.
Right.
That was neat. Yeah, that was hard to hear, and that was just a couple weeks before Jason David Frank too.
Right. Yeah, that was a tough time with both of those back to back.
Yeah. Mo, who do you got on your list? And if you have more, we'll circle back around. But
yeah. Well, clearly, Bob Saget.
Bob Saget.
Yep, he was on my list as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a hard one.
So we had lost Norm Macdonald at the tail end of 2021. And Norm Macdonald and Bob Saget had a really good friendship. And to have lost him and then lost Bob Saget at the same time, that felt like losing it felt like losing a lot more people. Like it felt it felt like losing like a giant team.
Yeah.
A comedy team. Like that was painful. Yeah. Another
television dad, like significant television dad, was Michael Lang from Little House on the Prairie.
Oh, I didn't even realize.
Yeah. Yep. So those
My mom
two.
watched all those when I was a kid.
Yeah, I watched them.
I've watched them vicariously. I didn't really care for the show, but
oh, I loved it.
That wasn't my jam. But yeah, I remember seeing him a lot.
Two pretty significant television dads from our childhood, at least. Yeah.
Mosaic fan art here in the chat brings up Nichelle Nichols from Star Trek, the first Uhura. And yeah, that one was rough too. Got a lot of, I mean, she lived that character for her whole dang life. Like that was a iconic character. That's right. She had the first interracial kiss on TV. That's one of her big milestones. With it was with Kirk, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure it was. I don't remember now.
Interesting.
But yeah, that was one of the big TV milestones. Yeah, with Shatner. Yeah, okay, I thought so. We had James Caan pass away this year. Probably. Maybe unfortunately, but probably best known as the crotchety old dad in Elf. Buddy's real dad.
Oh.
But he's done so many good movies, so many amazing roles. But that's just everybody watches it every year, so that's how I see him every year.
Yeah.
And he did great in that role too. That was a good, fun role. I don't think he did a whole lot of comedies. I think he killed it in Elf. Like he did really good. Speaking of comedians, we lost Gilbert Gottfried this year.
Yeah.
Which that voice was probably one of the most recognizable voices of our childhood.
Oh, for sure.
Just because of Aladdin.
Oh, yeah.
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 Yeah, so that hurt the kid in me a lot more than maybe the adult in me, but like it hurt my childhood.
Yeah.
He died. We lost Estelle Harris. Let's see. She was George Costanza's mom on Seinfeld. She was Mrs. Potato Head in all the Toy Stories.
Yeah.
Several roles of that same nature. I remember her from Out to Sea, which was the weird Odd Couple movie with the same, like with Walter Matthau and Jack Lemmon, but it wasn't the Odd Couple. It was just them two playing completely different characters. It wasn't the grumpy old men version of them either. It was like a third set of characters that these two people were playing in what was supposed to be another franchise.
Interesting.
It was a bad movie, but I still love it because I like those guys. But she was in that. Yeah. We lost Bernard Cribbins, which maybe a lot of people don't know, but for Doctor Who nerds, this was a big one. He didn't have a long run in the show. He was the dad of Donna Noble, who was the companion just for the 4th season of the new Who. But he was like a fan favorite character. And it made it like particularly harder because like he was there for the ending of that run of that Doctor David Tennant, and there was all these lines of about death and about how he tells him don't you ever die, and he goes I'll try not to, or something like that.
Wow.
Like it was just it was really, really hard. And the preview for next year's Christmas special came out, and it's featuring a lot of these characters and that family again for the first time since that season, which was over a decade ago. And it was noticeable to not see him there, to see his, daughter. Is that his daughter? I don't remember now the family dynamic. It wasn't his wife. See his daughter there, but not see him. That was hard. That was hard to see. And then my last one on my list here is Scott Hall from wrestling fame, WCW, WWE. He passed away. That one, I think, if I'm remembering correctly, just came at. He's had a lot of struggles with substance abuse over the years, and I think like this was just his body was kind of done, kind of situation. Like he had put too much stress on it. I don't think it was a result of a relapse or anything like that. I think it was just a too much has been done kind of situation.
Yeah.
But that was hard. 2 words. Our podcast, we renamed our news and rumors segment "Hey Yo," because that was his catchphrase, and we start every segment with "Hey Yo, did you hear this happen?" That kind of thing as a tribute to him. One of the founding members of the NWO, which probably was one of the most radical changes to wrestling ever, and one of the kickoff points to like the Attitude Era and everything that everybody really loves about modern wrestling. And so he definitely played a big role in that. So wrestling fans, that's been rough for us as well. Gabigan says, from what I remember, Hall was clean when he died. Yeah, that's what I remembered. Yeah, DDP had helped him clean up. But yeah, body just gave out. That's what I thought I recalled. Oriole Mo, who else is on your lists?
Who do you got, Oriole?
Robbie Coltrane.
Yep, me too.
Actor of Hagrid.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I'm not as big of a Potterhead as most people, but I do remember seeing that. Yeah.
Yeah.
That one hit hard.
Should not have said that.
It did.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have said that. Should not have said that. Yeah, he was probably my favorite part of most of the movies.
Yeah.
Or at least the early movies. Yeah.
Yeah. I, of course, have Barbara Walters and Queen Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, those are household names for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also had Coolio.
Oh, right. Coolio died this year.
Yeah.
I forgot all about that.
I wasn't a huge fan of his music, but still, Gangsta's Paradise.
Yeah, he was a staple of the 90s because of that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Kirstie Alley and Olivia Newton-John.
Kirstie Alley, man. I loved Kirstie Alley when I was a kid.
Yeah.
All the movies that she was in and stuff.
I think all the boys loved Kirstie Alley when they were little. Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And then her in Cheers. Like I've appreciated Cheers as I've gotten older.
Yeah.
And I think she was fantastic in her seasons there.
Yeah. And then I think the hardest hitting one and the most recent probably is Twitch. Really?
Yeah. From the Ellen Show.
Yeah. So he originally started on So You Think You Can Dance, the reality television show where people go on and it's like American Idol, but for dancing. And yeah.
Sorry. That was a funny way to, it's true.
That's exactly what it is. There are 3 judges. They go up. The people compete.
American Idol, but for dancing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then he became like the I guess the DJ?
Yeah.
The
DJ.
MC? I don't know what you would call him. For the Ellen Show.
So this was a suicide too.
Yeah.
Man.
Yep.
Yeah, Bubba says I legit thought you meant the platform, and that's what I was thinking too. I'm like, Twitch, we're on it right now.
No.
Man.
Mm-hmm.
I hate to see that ever as the reason of death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And again, it's hard hitting because what you think you know and what you see and this perception that you have is not at all, what he was really feeling inside.
Yeah.
Because he was like the hype man.
He was.
For Ellen. He was the one getting everyone all pumped up. Like,
always.
Also on the Game of Games show that she had. He was on there. And getting everyone pumped up and everything like that, the audience.
Yep. He was married, had 4 kids. 4 kids,
so.
I think.
Looks like he had a family, for sure.
Yeah. His wife was also a professional dancer. They met on So You Think You Can Dance. Yeah. Yep. It was just a really sad one of those situations where, honestly, I think when I heard the article, when I heard the news at first, I was like, Twitch, huh? And thought the same thing as the streaming platform. And I was like, wait, but that doesn't make any sense. How is that? Because he would have never been someone who I would have thought would take his life ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess that bookends here this segment, as I'm not sure this was initially our intention to talk about so much, but while most of these that pass away have passed away of natural causes, or if you were accidents or things of that nature, but when we lose people to suicide, that's a pain to everybody. Like that's a sting in the heart to everybody. I don't know who this person is, and it still cripples my heart here in the moment to hear that the reason he's dead is because he took his own life. There was a very short time in my life where I was struggling with depression and suicidal thoughts when I was a teenager. And it's because everything was changing in our life. We had moved. We were living in a camper back then. I had no friends, didn't know what I was going to do. And back then, when you're a teenager, you know, that's everything. That's your whole life. And if your whole life's out of control, you can get to the point where you convince yourself that life's never going to get better. That the season that you are in is how it's going to be for the rest of your life. And so if you're miserable now, you can convince yourself, might as well just end it. And that's still true for, you know, adults. Like, we can get into a bad few years where we just think this is just never going to end. Yeah. I can't take it anymore. And think that that's the way out. And that's, I mean, I understand it. I understand that thought, those feelings. And I know that me just saying it's not true doesn't convince anybody who's feeling those feelings. Right. But gosh, if there is anything that I would like for you to hear out of that is just wait. Have hope. Yeah. Don't let that hope die, that things can get better. Bubba, thank you for reminding me. We just released here in the last week on lovethynerd.com an updated version of our mental health, addictions, crisis, and domestic violence resource list. It's got a whole bunch of mostly free resources for people that are struggling with all different kinds of things, but including suicide. We have a whole bunch of articles and podcasts and videos that cover a bunch of different topics, including that. If you are someone who is struggling with those kind of thoughts, I would urge you to go to our resources page over at lovethynerd.com and look at that list. Yeah. But and
Mosaic Fan Art also reminds us that you can dial 988 and get the suicide hotline.
That's one of the big updates that we've had since the previous version of that article came out, is that they now have 988. Don't have to memorize an 800 number or go look it up. Just 988. Anywhere in America.
That's one of the best thing that they've done is having that simple number now.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's what you leave behind is so much worse than what you were dealing with. Yep. Because what you were dealing with doesn't go away. It just transfers to everybody in your life that loved you. Yeah. Yep. And it's hard to see that in the moment. And it's hard to think, just what effect it's going to have on your family or your friends, or even just strangers that don't know you but hear your story. I think it's the song Neon Gravestones by 21 Pilots. where it's talking about how we almost glamorize the idea of suicide sometimes in our culture by like celebrating the lives of the people that have taken their lives, but not doing enough to say, but that shouldn't be the way it ended.
Right.
Yeah.
We want to go out with a bang as if it's going to, make waves or prove someone wrong, or, show them that what they did was, painful to you, or, there's a whole different litany of reasons that you might think that this was the way to go. And all it really is paving the way for future people to do the exact same thing. We're killing ourselves because we think that it's a glamorous way to go. Mm-hmm. And so neon gravestones are calling us, essentially what that is. And instead, what we should be doing is glamorizing the bravery it takes to continue on through your whole life, to live to an old age, to do what you can in those times of darkness, to fight it, to cling on to hope, to find other people to talk to seek therapy, to do whatever you need to break free from that. It took surrendering it to God for years for that depression to be taken from me. It took years of me thinking, I'm never going to be able to feel better. I'm never going to be happy. I'm never going to find freedom from this, but still hoping that God would one day take it away. And one day, in the midst of probably the darkest year that I had, God finally flipped that switch for me. Mm-hmm. And that was a combination of Celebrate Recovery, some actual therapy I was having at the time, and a lot of helpful books. Mm-hmm. Like just filling myself and surrounding myself by people who knew better, who knew that, no, this isn't permanent, and no, the bad times aren't going to stay forever. Just keep holding on.
Yeah.
Just wait it out.
Yep.
It will get better.
Mm-hmm.
St. Bear says, yeah, therapy is huge. There are some amazing therapies out there. Therapists, sorry. But yeah, especially like St. Bear says here in our chat, especially when we feel like we don't need it. If you ever realize that you are slipping down that slope, you do need it. Mm-hmm. Because you are falling at this point. You need something to grab hold of.
Right.
And if you think you can just claw your way out, you're more likely to fall down than you are to climb up.
Mm-hmm.
That's very true.
Anything else y'all need to say? Y'all want to end with?
I'm good.
No.
Heavy topic. I understand, and I don't think we plan to go there at all. But I'm begging you, if you're listening to this and you're struggling with suicidal thoughts or depression or anything of that nature, addiction, things of that, find the resources. LoveThyNerd.com. Find our new mental health resource, our updated mental health resource. It's on the front page right now. And when you go there, if you listen to this in the future and it's not there, just click the resources tab and go there. Or search mental health. You'll find it there too. But it's a massively huge problem all over the world, all the time. Mm-hmm. And as we said, most people don't even realize that it's there. So if you're someone who's not struggling with this, put an open-ended message on Facebook or something saying, hey, if you're one of my friends or family members that is struggling with this and nobody knows and you need somebody to talk to, please know you can come talk to me. Mm-hmm. Like, make it clear to the people that you love in your life. Surround yourself with others. Don't isolate yourself. Don't think that you're the only one struggling with this problem. Don't think that there's no one else who cares about you. Surround yourself with the people in your life who you know love you. Mm-hmm. And if you don't feel like you have anybody in your life that loves you, go find community. Go join a church. Go join a Bible study. Go join a game night, something. Go find something, somebody, somewhere, some group, something in your life that you love. Go find the other people that love that same thing and get connected with those people. Sometimes just sharing the love of, Magic the Gathering or whatever else will, D&D. Sometimes just a group to go to every month to play another round of D&D. That's going to be enough to pull you through this dark time that you're in. Surround yourself with people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Save a life.
So I actually am going to add something, Matt. I'm going to kind of have a call to action for everybody who's listening. If you are struggling with your mental health, with suicidal thoughts, I'm going to ask you to go to lovethynerd.com/mental health. That link that's been posted in our stream chat, and I'm sure we'll have it. If
that's not a direct link right there /mental health, we'll do that ourselves too.
Yeah. If you are struggling, go find a resource. Go get connected. Go find community, just as Matt just said. However, if you are someone who's not struggling, and as Matt said, make a Facebook post, but before you do that, before you make a Facebook post and you just kind of put yourself out there as a safe haven for someone who may be struggling, I want to encourage you to do some research and try and figure out the best way to love people who are struggling through mental health. Because let's be clear, it can be even more damaging if we say, even with the best intentions, the wrong things. And that's never what any one of us are wanting to do. So let's make sure that before we put ourselves out there to be a safe haven for somebody, that we are creating a safe space within ourselves.
My hope was that you would be presenting yourself as an ear, not as a mouth.
And that's the thing. And just, I think as human nature, a lot of times we want, and without even realizing it, we say things that are with the best intentions, but end up hurting and causing harm. So
one of the best pieces of advice I think I've ever been given when it comes to hearing other people just sharing their struggles with you is, instead of trying to fix it, instead of saying, well, have you done this or have you done this? Or here, this Bible passage says this, the best thing you can say is, and that sucks.
Yeah. I'm so sorry.
Because they understand. They understand that you understand what they're going through, and they know you're not here to try and just solve all their problems for you. They know in that moment that, okay, I can come and be real.
It's okay to say, I don't know what to say, but I love you. That it's okay for that to be your only answer. It's okay to say, I am so sorry. We don't have to have all the answers.
Right.
We just have to be safe. So
thank you for that. That was a necessary addendum.
Yeah.
And that is going to do it for today's discussion. Oriel, thank you so much for joining us.
Yep. Thanks for having me.
Always
a part of it.
Always mostly a pleasure.
You the best MVP there ever be.
I'm just kidding. I love you, brother.
Love you, Oriel.
Y'all have a good morning. Or you
I keep
have
wanting to say y'all morning.
Because I expected more than just you. But you all of you.
All of you.
Have a good morning.
All right.
Bye, brother.